Hey, it's Mike C with Unique Photo. We're over here with Dennis from Cinevate, and he's going to tell us about some of their new products at the NAB show. So, Dennis, what do we have here? This looks like some kind of trebuchet or weapon of some sort.
Oh, see, that's just cool that you know how to pronounce that word, because I don't. No pumpkins being tossed here. This is Cinevate's new jib. It's called the Axis, and like I said before, it's the axis of good, not evil. We were a little concerned about that early on. But yeah, this is the culmination of about 7 or 8 years of kind of thinking about jibs. I built a couple, and we had guys. There's Kevin Shahinian and who you may have, City of Lakes. He was one of our sponsored shooters. Patrick Moreau and Casey, 2 of them up for Emmy Awards this year. Long story short, they came up to Thunder Bay. We showed them a prototype carbon jib that nobody else has seen, and we more or less trashed it. We just stopped the product because they didn't like it. And the message to us was pretty clear. It was, give us a jib that you can set up in 60 seconds, that's strong, that's rigid, that can break down and gives us 8 feet of vertical. And so that's what this is. It's and now that we're working with some filmmakers, especially in Thunder Bay, where we put in some design features, like, for example, I don't believe there are any other jibs on the planet with focus rings like you would use on a follow focus, except these ones are designed to set tilt. So you could set marks with a dry erase. This, by the way, got a little nasty in shipping. But basically, you can take your marks and repeat a jib shot. The same thing that's missing from here, in the production version, you'll see a version for repeatable pan as well. Okay. So you can basically construct a shot with pan and tilt. And in the piece that will launch in about a week, we'll call it the Axis launch piece, we do a shot on the Atlas 200. So we're sliding and we're jibbing at the same time. Okay. And the 200 can take, obviously, in this case, a Scarlet and about 75 pounds of counterweight. So what's unique about it, I think, from most jibs, obviously, you won't be able to tell on camera, but it's incredibly strong. It's designed to take about 100-pound load, which means a 200-pound counterbalance. Officially, we're probably rated about 50 pounds, building the safety factor sort of thing. But it has been modeled. It's also the first thing we've done that's modeled completely in 3D before we built it. So we put 100 pounds on it before we even machined it in the virtual world. And then that's how we basically came up with a design, fully internal. There's no cables, basically fully bearing, so there's no pinch points, and it's extremely rigid. So to set it up, the 100 millimeter bowl, which is integrated, basically drops onto a set of standard sticks. 100 mil. Hopefully, these ones are stronger ones from Manfrotto that we're using. And you basically slide the back piece, rotate 30 degrees, and it's ready to go. So the bowl at this end, which I can bring around, we'll test your follow focus abilities here. We have cheese-plated support arm and our 100 millimeter bowl, which can be oriented upright, 90 degrees, or upside down. And in this case, we just wanted to throw a head on there so people could play around. But it also adds a bit of weight to the rig. It's a C300 up there. So basically, fully unitized with a 100-pound load, you're talking less than a millimeter deflection in the entire rig. So it's simple, strong, and designed like a lot of our sliders, high quality, repeatable, durability.
Okay, excellent. And what's the price point on this bad boy here?
We're doing a NAB pre-order at about $1,100. Our expected retail on the product, which we hope to see in stores in about 8 weeks, will be around $1,300. Okay. So really, really good price point.
Great. And you had mentioned there's also a special rig for the FS100 that you have. So let's take a walk over there.
We got some traffic here, but we'll show you the PL mount, and then we'll show you the full Monty. So if we look over here, where there's nobody. So what you see is the beginnings of the rig. So what you have here is a CNC. This is all aluminum, like everything CNC machined, and it sort of the camera has 6 mount points. So basically, we mount here, here, and 4 underneath. This stays with your camera. You see the rods coming out, and they give you the correct 85 millimeter offset from the optical center. And you'll see in the other rig that we take this and we take it to the next level with a map box and a follow focus. In this case, this is a PL mount. CP.2. So we're using interchangeable lens mounts. So what's kind of cool about this is that you could go rent a set of PLs, and you could also go to eBay and buy a set of, say, fast Canon FD, older, and interchange the mount. So basically, for those of our customers who are familiar with the Brevis 35, this is the rig that takes their lens mount system, and if they invested in that and still had it, it's pretty much the same. Well, we've modified some of the flange distances and so on, but this PL mount is the same one that the Brevis used.
Okay, excellent.
This is. Let me show you the extension.
Okay, great. Excuse me.
So here, and maybe we'll, you know what, I'll come around over here. This is the same rig, but what we've done, you can see the same pieces here. This is a Nikon mount. So the PL mount is mounted on the outside, it's come off, we put in the Nikon mount. Both mounts collimate, so you can adjust for infinity focus. The same sort of setup that we use for the Brevis. And we've got the map box and the rails coming over top. So you basically have a swing away, really solid rig. Like you and I could stand on this and bounce and it would be okay.
Can we try that?
Yes, we could. Here, let's do it. No, seriously, because we're not loading up the mount of the camera at all.
Right.
Because this is all CNC, it's very precisely made, obviously. And the load that we would put on the top is actually going to the ground. It's not really acting on the camera at all. So it's a very solid mount for lenses. Obviously, PLs, there's no need for an external lens support because the mount itself is designed to take a lot of load. And on the Nikon, although with a long Nikon lens, you still want some support. This mount basically does not contact the Sony mount at all. So there's about 7 or 8 different options. Even we have some OCT-19. It's a Russian cinema lens mount that we made back in the Brevis days. Also fits on this. So it just means that you can either rent a nice set of PLs, or you can go on eBay and or just buy a used set of fast older glass and use it on the FS100. You'll see, and the rig starts at about $600. The fully done up rig with the follow focus. So if I turn this around. Map box, follow focus, and everything you see there, about $3,000. So it's kind of like our Core, which is a real popular DSLR rig, but now we just, it's a camera specific. It would only work on the FS.
You have any other plans to make any other camera specific rigs?
Well, our Core has been a real popular product for us because it works with just about everything. And the camera-specific rigs don't necessarily make sense for everything. So what we have done is Core-specific rigs for given cameras. But we get a lot of requests like for the Canon C300. And that camera doesn't have the mount points like this does on top, but it does have a shoe. So what we found is when we triangulate our mounts to a camera, it just solidifies everything up considerably. So essentially, the Core, we have camera-specific Core rigs, so we've tuned it up to suit. Like a good example would be some of the recent Canon HDV cameras. We basically did a custom port for the Core because it's so flexible. You can really accommodate just about anything. This one, different departure, right? And I think what we're seeing from the market is that there are customers, say with the FS100 and other cameras that would suit this form factor, who want a rig like this. So, we expect to see a lot of excitement over this one.
Okay, excellent. Dennis, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks.
And if you're here out at NAB, come check out Cinevate's booth here.
Which is, unlike the catalog, is C8217.
Okay.
I think the directory has us at 2817, so I think we're trying to tweet and Facebook so people will find us.
All right, well, we'll let everyone know.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.